after talking to her and praying to God, I felt like coming back to school was my best choice. So I'm back here.
Corey Saunders, born April 17, 1997. He was charismatic, electric, and a walking highlight reel with trampoline legs, a killer crossover, and a rawness that looked like it could be molded into something elite. Corey Saunders wasn't just talented, he was exciting. One of those players who made fans lean forward, wondering what he'd do next. Dunk over a 7-footer, hit a tough step back, throw a no-look pass. His game had street flair, but enough polish to make it feel like a future pro in the making. Not to mention the hype, being blasted all over YouTube as the people's champ. He bounced around multiple high schools before landing at West Oaks Academy in Florida, where he led the team to a state title and was regarded as one of the top point guards in his class. A consensus 4-star recruit with high major offers, Corey chose Rutgers, a school desperate for basketball relevance. It was a risky decision, but one that could have made him a legend if it worked. From the start, Saunders gave Rutgers fans something they hadn't seen in a while: hope. As a freshman, he led the team in scoring and assists, earning Big Ten honors while keeping them in games they had no business competing in. He looked like a star in the making, someone who could put Rutgers basketball on the map. But as the years passed, the excitement faded. His game stayed flashy but didn't evolve in the way scouts wanted. The shooting didn't improve, the decision-making didn't sharpen, and the promise he carried as a freshman never blossomed into draft stock. After 3 seasons, he declared for the 2018 NBA draft, an understandable move for a player carrying the weight of a rebuild, but one that ultimately led to him going undrafted and falling off the radar. Since then, he's played all over the world: Poland, Portugal, Greece, Colombia, and beyond, showing flashes but never quite sticking. For a player once known for his magnetism and it factor, his name went from sleeper with lots of potential to rarely mentioned. But behind the missed opportunity is a larger conversation about how quickly potential fades in a system not designed to nurture it. Saunders might have had the tools, but did he have the right setting to sharpen them? For someone some saw as eventually making the NBA, this is the story of a promise that never fully bloomed. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to everyone that's requested this feature. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Corey Saunders is a 6'2" point guard from Lakeland, Florida, known for his explosive athleticism and flashy play style. He began his high school career at McNeil Academy before transferring multiple times, including stops at IMG Academy, Kathleen High, and finally West Oaks Academy in Orlando, where he led his team to a state championship and solidified himself as a top 75 national prospect. Ranked as a 4-star recruit in the class of 2015, Saunders was pursued by schools like Florida State, Memphis, and UNLV, but ultimately committed to Rutgers, a surprising choice at the time. His decision was seen as a potential program changer for a struggling Rutgers team. He was immediately expected to be the focal point of the offense and bring excitement to the Big Ten, and he did. Entering college, he was viewed as a future NBA point guard with elite quickness, high-level shot creation, and the charisma to lead a turnaround. Stunt number 1 should have left after his freshman year. Corey Saunders had a real shot to capitalize on the quote one-and-done era. After a freshman season where he led Rutgers in both scoring with 15.9 points per game and assists with 4.3 assists per game, he had something most mid-tier college stars don't: momentum. Even if his game wasn't fully polished, the intrigue was there. It had been since high school. An explosive guard with bounce, flair, and the ability to take over games, not to mention a huge online fan base, he had the kind of raw promise that teams were willing to gamble on, especially in the second round. The NBA had just seen a wave of athletic guards who didn't need to be finished products get drafted. Saunders could have joined them. He was one decision away, but he returned to school and everything that made him intriguing began to fade. His scoring dipped to 12.8 points per game as a sophomore. His minutes went down, his assists slightly dropped, and his three-point shooting regressed drastically. The second-year leap never came. Instead, scouts got a longer look at the holes in his game: inconsistent decision-making, poor shot selection, not natural as a point guard, and a jump shot that hadn't improved. The mystique he had as a freshman disappeared under the microscope of extended film. What made this decision even more costly was the timing. Saunders was playing during the peak of the one-and-done trend, when NBA teams were more willing than ever to take a flyer on upside. Had he declared in 2016, he may have snuck into the draft on sheer potential. At worst, he could have landed in a better developmental situation than Rutgers, where coaching turnover and lack of structure limited his growth. By staying, Saunders gave the league time to doubt him. His name cooled off, his flaws were magnified, and the window to sell potential slammed shut before he ever got a real shot. Stunt number 2, the Flash never turned into a floor general. Corey Saunders had everything you want in a highlight: speed, bounce, handles, and swagger. What he didn't have, at least not consistently, was control. From the moment he stepped on the court at Rutgers, he looked like the most talented player in the gym. As a freshman, he dazzled fans with high-flying dunks and ankle-breaking moves. But beneath the excitement was a player still trying to learn how to lead, how to run a team, and most importantly, how to slow the game down. As the years passed, that growth never fully came. Rather than refining his decision-making, Saunders often played at one speed: chaos. While it made for entertaining basketball, it also led to poor shot selection, turnovers, and stretches of inefficient play. He didn't evolve into a steady, mature point guard NBA scouts wanted to see. His shooting never became a real weapon, hovering around 31% from 3 over the course of his college career, and his assist-to-turnover ratio rarely reflected the poise expected from a lead guard. Part of the issue may have been his environment. Rutgers wasn't a winning program, and Saunders had to shoulder the burden of doing everything: scoring, facilitating, and even trying to market the team through his name alone. With so much on his shoulders and minimal structure or veteran leadership around him, his weaknesses were never corrected, just masked by flair. The program cycled through coaching transitions as well, which disrupted player development. By the time Saunders was a junior, he was still exciting, but the same holes in his game from his freshman year remained. He had the look of a guy who never truly transitioned from playground prodigy to professional-ready point guard, and without that leap, the NBA began to lose interest. Stunt number 3, his game never fit any NBA box. Corey Saunders was a positionless player, but not in the modern, versatile sense. At 6'2", he was too small and inefficient to be a shooting guard and too raw in decision-making to be a true point guard. His frame and athleticism screamed NBA, but his skill set never caught up. Throughout his college career and even into his pro journey, Saunders remained stuck between roles, unable to fit in the clearly defined boxes NBA teams use when evaluating talent. He was a guard, sure, but not one who could run an offense, shoot consistently, or defend bigger wings. That left him without a lane. He was never a particularly crafty ball handler. His dribble was often loose and wild, leading to turnovers or forced shots. In the pick and roll, where most NBA point guards earn their bread, Saunders never showed confidence or growth. Scouts wanted to see him orchestrate, read defenses, manipulate the floor, but those flashes never came. Instead, he leaned heavily on his athleticism, often using burst and agility to try and out-athlete defenders rather than outthink them. That worked in high school, sometimes even in college, but at the NBA level, where defenders are just as athletic and much smarter, those habits were exposed. Even after going undrafted, Saunders had multiple opportunities in the G League, the closest proving ground to the NBA, but his issues followed him. Teams couldn't figure out how to use him. Was he a spark plug off the bench, a developmental combo guard? He didn't shoot well enough to play off the ball, and he didn't process the game well enough to lead it. Despite his athletic gifts and physical readiness, he lacked the IQ and skill versatility to lock down a roster spot. In a league obsessed with role definition and upside, Saunders had neither. He was exciting but undefined, and that left him behind. All in all, Corey Saunders was a gifted athlete with enough raw ability to make it to the league, but not enough refinement to stay on the radar. His story is another reminder that talent alone isn't enough. Timing matters, fit matters, and perhaps most importantly, growth matters. Saunders showed promise as a freshman and had a window to capitalize on it, but that window closed when his development stalled and his flaws came into focus. He played hard, played loud, and played without fear, but never quite found a position, a system, or role that could elevate his game to the next level. Still, he carved out a global basketball career, which is more than most can say. While he didn't become the star many envisioned, his journey reflects just how thin the margin is between hype and reality. Corey Saunders had the tools, but never found the blueprint. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.